Hey, did somebody say they have pulled pork sandwiches? Well, I hope so, because this is officially cookout season, and this is my I don't know what to bring to the cookout series, part 8, smoked pulled pork sandwiches. So before we can do anything, we have to get this 5-pound pork shoulder with the bone in seasoned up. So let's make a simple salt and pepper rub. 1/4 cup coarse salt, 1/4 cup coarse black pepper, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1 tablespoon onion powder. Now let's give it a mix until everything's thoroughly combined. And you should have something that looks like this. So for this pork shoulder, we do not need a binder, but we do need to score this fat cap. All right, so pat it dry and then score that fat. And now let's season it up. And don't be shy with the seasonings because this is a big cut of meat. Now that it's all seasoned up, let's go heat up the grill and let this marinate until the grill is ready. Fire starter, light. Charcoal chimney with charcoals. That's it. Now when your coals are nice and hot, toss them in that offset. I got a little bit of almond wood right here. Now, once that log catches fire, let's close off the firebox. We're gonna let our grill come to temp, almost like we're preheating it. So let's go grab that pork shoulder. Here's that pork shoulder. Temperature is about 250 degrees. All right, let's lay that right alongside the tri-tip. We're gonna keep this inside of the smoker for about 3 to 4 hours. All right, so it's been about 6 hours, and we're gonna give this pork its first spritz, being sure not to spritz the fat along the sides. And I'm spritzing with Dr. Pepper. So you see how this fat is kind of spongy, it's bouncing back. This fat is almost rendered enough for us to wrap it, but not quite yet. Maybe another hour or so. So after about 8 hours on the grill, I think it's finally time to get this pork shoulder off of here, because look at that fat, it's properly rendered. So let's go ahead and get this bad boy off of here. Got a nice little bark on there. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this bad boy in some foil. And here is your pork shoulder, baby. Now let's get it back to the grill so we can finish up this cook. All right, all wrapped up. So coming from 170, we're gonna let this rise up to 205 degrees. And once it gets there, we are pretty much done with this cook. And after about an additional 2.5 hours, we are finally almost done with the pork shoulder. Now it's time to let it rest for at least, I'm gonna let this one rest for at least 10 hours. So into the ice chest it goes. It's very important that we let the meat rest because all of those juices are sitting in there. You want them to settle in so that way you don't end up with dry meat. Nobody likes dry meat. And here we are 10 hours later. Let's get this bad boy unwrapped. Now look at that meat. And you know you've done your job. And when that bone comes out just like this, that's how you know this meat about to be super tender. So my favorite way to eat this pulled pork is simply with some slider bread. Simply break off a piece, shred it up. Look at that smoke. Look at all that smoke in there. Toss it on some bread, add a little bit of barbecue sauce, drop the top. Now this is going to take all day to make, but hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. And that's well worth the wait.